Hey everyone! So I am here with my friend Levi. We are actually out in LA this week, and starting tonight it is officially spooky week here on this channel.
Spoopy doopy!
And tonight we are staying on the infamous Queen Mary in the most haunted room, room B340. So we're going to take you around, we're going to show you the boat, and I have my spirit box with me, so hopefully we'll pick something up on that, and
I am the sacrifice.
just, yeah, spend the night with us and let's see what kind of crazy shit happens, because every other person who stayed in this room has had weird shit happen. So
Also, it's just really cool. This is a really cool boat.
The boat's gorgeous, so we'll show you all of that, the isolation ward, literally everything, and yeah, let's just fucking do it. Let's get haunted, yo.
Yo.
Alright, here she is, you guys.
It's a submarine. I wish I remembered. No, I
There's a whole submarine. Alright guys, so here is the haunted B340. Just your standard bathroom, shower, instructions to play Bloody Mary right next to the mirror. Hey, let's see. We got a TV, the bed. The room's honestly a lot smaller than we thought. It's not as like sprawled out. It's still a pretty good size. There's only two of us staying. Here's the couch with all my stuff on it. And here, they give you this wonderful chest full of a Ouija board. Ooh. My bad. Sorry to anyone in this room. But there's a Ouija board, a pack of tarot cards, a crystal ball, which is actually not crystal, it's literally just glass. I was looking at it earlier. And, ooh, this big heavy chunk of what looks like labradorite. Here, we also will not be touching the Ouija board because that opens up a line of communication to literally anything that wants to come through, and it isn't necessarily always good. So I prefer to speak to things that are already here. That's why I use the spirit box. I don't like to open up portals for anything else to come through. So we won't be doing that. And then the last little section of the room, other than the refrigerator, is this closet, which has some extra blankets, hangers, a bench, and a dresser, and another mirror. Alright, so right now we're walking down the stairs into the isolation ward. We'll see if there's people in there. I want to maybe attempt to film a little bit of a spirit box session, but let's see what happens.
Honestly.
The telephone booth.
Oh, the telephone booth. Look at that view.
It's just private event.
I get why ghosts like this
Is this
place.
not the right staircase?
They have a good view. Wait, where are we going to?
The isolation ward.
The isolation deck. This doesn't feel very isolated.
I have no idea.
It says private event.
I know, that's why I'm like... But it said it was this way. Is it upstairs, maybe?
Oh, my.
Worst case scenario, if we get kicked out of somewhere we're not supposed to be, we get kicked out of somewhere we're not supposed to be.
True.
You ready?
Oh my god. Whoa. That's
It's
creepy.
really hot in here, too.
Oh, I can feel it.
Watch your step.
The isolation ward.
Look at that. That's like full on.
Ooh.
Like old school. Medical. It's dark down here. It's gaunt. Like when we say it's hot in here, it's almost like can't breathe hot. And we said earlier we're staying in B340. We walked into the room and that's exactly what the room felt like. And with spirits, everyone always talks about cold spots, but at the same time they can manipulate it to be very hot as well. It might just be because we're in like the underbelly of the boat, but spirits do have the ability to make the temperature hotter as well as colder. Like they do both extremes. So, see, I'm like literally having trouble breathing in here almost.
It feels, trying to describe it because it feels familiar.
The isolation ward was like, they would isolate people in here who were sick, so they couldn't contaminate the rest of the boat. So it was people literally like died in there. Should we try to do a spirit box session?
Yeah. We can set up a tripod.
Like I'm just worried like it's open, like anyone can just walk in.
That's fine.
So, and I don't want to like deter anyone from like exploring at all, because like we're doing the same thing. But all right, so we're currently in the isolation where there are people walking around. Yeah. No big deal. But we're gonna attempt to do a little spirit box session. It's still early. It's only like 7:30 at night. But they closed the isolation. I can't speak. But they closed the isolation ward down once it gets a little later. So we wanted to make sure we got in here.
Yeah.
And
it's 7:20 now.
Played around and tried to communicate as much as we could with anything that's down here, because as I'm sure you guys know, the isolation ward is where they would keep people who are sick or people who stowed away, and people did die down here. So there's probably a lot of lingering energy. So we just want to open up the communication to see if anything comes through, if it wants to say anything.
Well, the first thing is like the other parts of the boat feels vastly different than down here.
Yeah, as soon as you walk in, the energy is immediately a lot heavier, like immediately.
Yeah.
And same with our room, like we're staying in B340, and as soon as you walk into our room, it's very heavy as well. But nowhere near as heavy as down here. Like it's nuts as soon as you step in. It's also like 50 degrees warmer in here. So let's just get it going and see if anything comes through. So we're just gonna sweep on and
Well, I'm gonna set mine up.
and we have a little speaker so it just comes through a little louder because sometimes it's very hard to hear. Is there anyone down here with us? That said yes. Straight up, that said yes. Can you tell us your name?
Also, interestingly, that sounds like
Peter? Did you just say your name was Peter? Did you work on the ship, Peter?
Did you like working here?
Did you live or work on this boat? I swear it's like you. Yep. Yep. Yep.
What was your name again?
This is just radio interference.
What was your name again?
Is there anything you'd like to say? Do you want us to leave?
What a problem. Do you want us to leave? Do you like us?
Leave. Do you want us to leave?
Or do you know my name, Levi? Were you reading my shirt? Don't leave again.
Leave. All right, we'll leave you alone.
Do you want us to leave? Or did you say don't leave? heard that again. That's very famous.
Alright, we'll go. We'll leave you alone. Thank you for talking to us. If there's anything else you'd like to say, you could say so now.
Do you want us to move into a different location in terms of seating? Is it your favorite seat? We can go to the bunk bed.
Leave. Alright, we'll go. Thank you for talking to us. Alright, so clearly whatever's in here wanted us to leave. It told us 4 or 5 times. So
Projection.
we're gonna go because we don't want to anger anything. Again, we really appreciate you speaking to us. Just in general, we mean you no harm, and we hope you don't mean any to us either. So we were just leaving the isolation ward. Something was telling us to leave. You just saw that clip. We're not gonna stay if something's repeatedly telling us to leave, because that just doesn't sit well with me. I don't want to intentionally piss anything off. But as we were leaving, I was carrying the spirit box just like this. It's completely off, but the Bluetooth speaker was on, because I didn't think to shut that off, because we just wanted to get out of there when something told us to leave. So we were walking back up the stairs, and the spirit box stayed completely like this, which is off, but started coming through the Bluetooth speaker. And I had to turn it on and turn it back off again to get it to stop making noise. It was 100% not on.
Honestly, the creepiest thing I've seen.
Was not on. There's no way for it to turn on. Like, my finger was nowhere near it. I was holding it like this. And it's literally never done that before. Like, I've had this not super long, but I've played with it a couple times and nothing like that's ever happened. So I don't know if it was the spirit like turning it back on and like manipulating the electronic or what, but it was very
And it was every time we asked. It wasn't like...
And it didn't talk to us unless we asked a question, and every time it told us to leave. So we asked if it worked on the boat, and then we asked it its name, and it said Peter. So I don't know if there's like a history of someone named Peter. I'll have to do some research into that, but we'll see. And obviously, who knows, like when we play the audio back, there might be even something that we missed, like in the moment. So who knows what the rest of the night's gonna bring, because it's already been kind of wild. So
yeah. Hopefully our room's cooler now.
Oh yeah, hopefully our room's not as fucking hot, so.
Yeah.
Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary.
Trying to get the chills.
It's in the chair back there.
You can see it better right here.
I haven't really been looking at that.
We're going, when we're in Vegas, we're going to Zach Bagans' Haunted Museum, which has like, literally like the doll from The Conjuring and like...
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Did you see that? The light fucking flickered.
Look at I
Oh my
had it
God.
on camera.
Let me see that. I'm fucking tripping right now. Oh my god. I almost fell backward down the stairs.
Literally, me too. I almost dropped my camera. I wasn't even filming.
God.
Angle at the left
Hold
side.
on, let me take off my shoes. Because I almost fucking busted my ass coming.
Let me collapse my tripod because I almost dropped it.
Oh.
Is it on?
It's just scary because I can see the face of the doll right here.
It didn't move, did it?
Like
Did it
literally
move?
right here now.
That's... I need to take my shoes off too.
I was coming up the stairs and I literally went like this.
Don't worry, I got a
I'm
lot.
so concerned.
We got some good stuff.
Yeah, it's fucking scary because I literally see the doll right here.
That scared the fuck out of me.
That's weird.
We all, like,
Look at the
shit
camera,
ourselves.
like it's right in that
The
camera.
fact that we all reacted at the same time.
Yeah. Which means it was like, it was all of us, you know, fucking saw it.
God, this is weird.
Yeah.
That scares me.
Look
This
at
little room right here.
that. Right there.
Oh my god.
Literally, I'm like, there's a haunted doll in here.
It fucking flickered the light.
Oh, I'm looking at the wrong place.
What was that? so we already tried to film this once, so we gotta do it really quick. But last night on the Queen Mary at 2 a.m. we did decide to leave because we felt unsafe. It wasn't even because of the room. The room was fine. We felt comfortable in the room. It was because we met this very creepy couple. And I'm gonna make the disclaimer, like, if we are just misinterpreting the situation, I'm gonna feel like such an asshole. But the vibes they were putting out and the energy like seemed so negative and so evil and so malicious that we did not feel safe staying on the premises with them.
Yeah, whatever their intentions were, it had
it was bad.
Yeah, it was bad.
So basically, earlier in the day we had met them. We took some pictures for them because they were in wedding clothes and they pulled up in a car saying just married. And we were like, oh cute, like congratulations, took some pictures, exchanged information so we could send them the pictures, and then went on our way. They offered to buy us drinks, we didn't feel right doing that. We said no, we have to film. And like maybe if we have time, like we'll hit you up just to be polite.
Yeah, mind you, at this point they seemed to mostly, for the most part, normal with a little bit of offness.
Yeah, we thought
especially
maybe
with the
they were
girl.
like a little bit high.
Yeah, just some sort of, maybe a little bit more than that, but like.
So nothing from there. We were walking around with Kaylin and Martin. We met up with them, made friends. And at midnight, we were up in one of the areas of the ships that was near the bar. The bar had just closed, but we had walked a little like forward, like to like talk, like regroup, figure out what we were going to do for the rest of the night. And around the corner comes this couple in normal clothes. They were friendly. They came over. They gave Levi a hug. They didn't do that to me.
Just me. They just gave me a hug.
Levi. And we were like, okay, like whatever. Talking to them. They stay on the boat all the time. So they went and they unlocked a room that none of us are supposed to be in. Like that room's supposed to be locked and patrolled, basically. And they're like, here, come on. So we were talking to them beforehand, and like some of the like things they were saying, like the way they were phrasing things and wording things, like just seemed off. I don't know.
And we just, at that moment, we had, as you saw, met Kaylin and Martin. And Kaylin had sort of she had a weird feeling about both of them.
Yeah.
And so at that moment, I was more into talking with them, but
he wanted to tell them about all the things like
that happened to me before. Like
I kind of noticed a little bit, not like much of them being like a little weird, but I did notice that the guy came in holding this big book. It was like leather and carved, and it looked like a grimoire.
It looked exactly what you would think it would look like.
Looked like a spell book, like straight up. Like I practice like level witchcraft, like we know this. I do like white witchcraft and green witchcraft, like basically like positive witchcraft. Like I don't practice any kind of dark magic whatsoever, and that looked like something that was dark. So yeah, so they were holding this book. Kaylin asked what it was. She was in like full detective mode at this point, like kind of like prodding them, like poking, asking some questions, and they dodged like every question. But they said the book was a guest book from their wedding.
Yeah.
Why would you be carrying that around at midnight?
The wedding was Saturday.
The wedding was on Saturday. This was a Wednesday. That was a little weird. We were like, whatever. So they unlocked this room. We went into this room. Levi and Martin like run in to like film, but me and Kaylin are like, no, like something feels off. Something feels wrong. We would not go past the threshold of the door.
At this point, had Kaylin seen the face yet? I'm pretty sure she.
No, she felt
after?
like weird. Like she just felt
okay,
weird.
so she was just feeling weird at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I walked in. I felt bad vibes going into that room. I don't know if it was just the room itself or it was their energy, like with the room or what. It was the room that the lady in white on the Queen Mary is supposed to be like known to be seen in. Like she's in there like dancing around, like doing a bunch of shit. And I like just got the feeling like, why do I feel like I'm gonna be like low-key like disemboweled in here? Like that's fucked up. Like I don't want to step any further into this room. So they were in there and they were filming. We didn't think we got anything of them. And we're not going to show the footage of them in anything because like we want to respect their privacy. We don't want to like basically have people come after them, and they might also be possibly recognizable figures. We'll get into that later. We just don't want to I don't know, if we are like misinterpreting the situation, like we don't want to make them like feel bad about it. So we left, and Levi wanted to show them more videos of.
Yeah, because we kept getting these topics. We talked about there was the pool room that had the lights.
Yeah, they were talking about the pool room and why we couldn't get into it. And Kaylin asked if like the spirit of the little girl was like known to hurt people, and the look they gave each other when she asked that was like sinister. Like they were like
a smile to each other.
At least
like,
her. I wasn't really paying attention.
Most
to him.
of this
it was
her.
mainly her. It
She
was not
was
really
mostly...
him. He seemed
He was,
He
for the
seemed
most
okay.
part, yeah.
For the most part, like had a weird way.
She was dancing around,
Whatever.
spinning. Mind you, we don't know her. She's
She
spinning around.
kept making jokes that she was the woman in white.
Yeah, and she was like,
which is like, we're like, whoa.
it was just an odd circle because she was
Whoa.
like, we can show you these rooms, but we have to
Yeah.
act like we're inconspicuously talking. But then she
But then
like
she would
spun
like be
around
like
to the other
acting
side
like
of the room.
this and like doing all this stuff that wasn't like low key at all.
Yeah.
So it was like weird. And then we were talking to them, and after we were talking to them, I was like reviewing my footage. Levi was looking down at the phone. But Kaylin said that her face like immediately like changed. Her face like morphed into this like demonic smile. She was like looking at us like this, and her mouth like opened up. And like honestly, I wouldn't have believed that, but we have a fucking photograph of
Yeah.
it. Like Martin was filming,
Both
and he
Kaylin and Martin.
screenshotted the fucking video like of when she looks right into the camera, and it's blurry because they're in motion. But like you can fucking see it, and it's fucking horrifying. Like I feel like it's blurry enough to like conceal their identity enough to that we can show you.
Mm-hmm.
But like her face is not human in this picture.
Mm-hmm.
Like it is not human. It is fucking demonic. Like
And
that's
mind
the
you,
only way I know how to explain it. Like
Kaylin,
it's demonic.
when she saw the photo, she full on screamed.
Yeah,
and
we were
she said
in her
that's
car.
what I
we were
saw
screaming.
whenever.
She's like,
when her and
that's
I-
literally what I saw. Like that's how she was looking at
Like
you.
when we had her back turned looking at the photos,
Yeah.
she was looking at us
when we
with that
weren't paying
creepy-
attention, and they were like saying some weird stuff, like the way they were phrasing things. They're like, oh, if you spend enough money on this boat, you could basically do anything. Like,
And
if you
the
spend
staff
enough
will do
money,
whatever you want
the
because
staff
they
will
know
do
that you
whatever.
paid for it.
And they were like, there's no cameras on the boat, there's no patrol after this time, and it might have just been them being like, yeah, you could like get in anywhere, like well, except the
And
pool room.
mind you, some of these things are weird already, but it gets worse.
The way they were saying it and the kind of vibe that they were giving, like almost like could have been interpreted like, yeah, we could like fucking hurt you and
Yeah.
no one would ever fucking find out about it. And they knew which room we were staying in because when we were talking to them earlier and taking pictures, we just kind of mentioned it in passing because they were talking about all the experiences they had in B340, and we were like, oh, that's where we're staying tonight. Like without thinking, and this was when they weren't giving us any like
Yeah, 'cause they know a lot
really
about
weird
the-
vibes.
Yeah.
Because they clearly knew a lot about the boat. Like,
They had been there
this-
every 18 years. They've gone to the boat.
Yeah, they've gone for every birthday, every anniversary, every like special occasion together, which is like
They said
kind of
that
like, oh, like interesting, like I get it.
they
Like,
even spread one of their father's ashes
Like, on the
in a
boat,
random
which
place
is
on the
like,
boat, and they said that they saw it
That's a
levitating
lot.
for 15 minutes.
we're like, okay, like that's interesting.
It was interesting.
And
yeah.
like they clearly knew we were filming something, so if they think like we weren't, like I don't know, like gonna,
Okay.
you know, like this is gonna be talked about, like I don't know, like they were such like an integral part of our night, like I feel like we have to talk about it.
yeah.
But her face, like I'm just gonna like put the picture out, like.
Yeah.
Like that is not human. And as soon as I saw that, I like was ready to book it. Okay, so that's the fucking face we saw. If the lighting's different, my fucking camera died. So this is take fucking 3.
I love how we act like it's a lot of takes.
We're like,
with
wow.
the third take.
No, but it is the third.
Technically,
The third, yeah.
that's true.
So yeah, that's what she fucking saw. We saw that. We were like, what the fuck? We booked it. Like, I didn't feel comfortable. Like, I literally just wanted to get my shit and get the fuck out of there when I saw that, because that's like not normal. The vibe was so heavy, like so like gross, like so evil, like malicious almost.
It was weird.
And we went back to their room and we kind of like were talking about it, but we could still feel their like energy like lingering on us, like their presence. Like it almost seemed like they were like still watching us somehow. Like I don't know, like it just felt heavy and like just bad. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like the feeling was just like my chest was tight as soon as we walked into that room. Like I was having chest pains, and then as soon as we got off the boat I was fucking fine. And it wasn't like anything like, oh, like I'm having a heart attack. I'm not having a fucking heart attack. Like like it wasn't like anything like that. It's not like, oh, heartburn. Like it was like sharp, like just like sharp, and it was like something was telling me like I shouldn't be in there. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I know she was feeling like heaviness like on her shoulders. Kaylin was feeling heaviness on her shoulders, and it lingered like even like afterwards. Like we had to go out into the car, and that's when we were kind of like.
Yeah, that's when we found out about the face.
That's when we saw the
We
photo.
saw the face.
Like when we saw like we like reviewed.
Because she described it.
The footage, yeah, and we were like, ooh, that's like weird. And like I noticed her kind of making like weird faces like that, not like to that extreme, but like like making these weird like little like, you know, like.
Yeah, because she was doing odd gestures in general.
Yeah, and we didn't think much of it because we honestly thought she was like on some sort of drug. So, and then at 2 a.m. we're like, oh, like we don't trust it, like especially since they know like what room we're staying in. Like it would probably honestly just be safer if we just left because something like sketchy is going on there.
Yeah, 100%.
So
Just
yeah,
thought it was just a weird environment.
so yeah, we drove back to Kaylin and Martin's place and just stayed there for the night instead because I don't. Like, did we explain like how they were talking? Like,
That's
they
what
were
I'm thinking. Like,
saying? Like I don't remember.
I don't remember exactly what we were talking about.
Fuck.
Did we explain that they just sort of like were like, oh, we need to go?
I don't think so. Yeah, but like before we like kind of pieced the fuck out, like Martin and Kaylin were kind of like trying to like suss them out, like just like see like what was up with them. Like they knew that they were kind of like onto them. They knew like they were acting a little suspicious. And as soon as they kind of realized that they were like onto them and that they weren't gonna get like any of us like alone per se, I guess, like we were all always gonna be together, they kind of like looked at each other, like whispered, and then like immediately left and like turned the corner and disappeared. So we were like, that was really fucking weird. Like where the fuck did they go? Like
Yeah. It's really weird though.
there was nowhere for them to go.
She had such a strong smell about her. It smelled good.
Yeah,
It wasn't
like
a bad
she smelled,
smell.
yeah.
And then we came back about 30 minutes later.
After we went to the car.
And we went to the lobby, and you could still smell her smell.
Like the scent
I don't know how
lingered.
it
We were
was.
like, wait, what?
Unless she's either looking around.
Like it was like floral, like a strong like floral. Like it wasn't like bad necessarily. It was just like strong. I don't know.
And then we got back, and then the roommate.
Oh yeah, we got back and the roommate was their roommate. We were like telling him what happened and everything, and I don't know why I'm playing with my hair like this. But we were talking to the roommate, and I guess he thought it was weird that they brought two fucking like strangers back to their house, like that they hadn't known for that long. But we literally like were like afraid for our lives, so they were like, you know, whatever, like we've been through so much with these people, so they just invited us to stay with them for the night because our friends weren't answering us because it was so fucking late and there was nowhere else for us to really go unless we slept in our fucking car, which would have been awful. And
Still not as hot.
He's like, yeah, it's definitely
It's
not
so
as hot. But he was like, oh yeah, I used to study demonology and I know this guy. And then apparently he was texting them at 4 a.m. saying that he thought we were in on it somehow, that we were trying to sacrifice Kaylin and Martin.
And that we were the ones
and that we were the ones who were going to like film it or document the ritual. Because we had a camera and we had ghost hunting equipment. And why else would we have something to communicate with spirits?
And this is at 4:30 in the morning that he's texting her.
Because I was taking too long in the bathroom. Because I had my makeup on that day since 4 a.m. the day before. Like I did my makeup at 4 a.m. the day before, got on my plane at 6 a.m. and like had been wearing it the rest of the day. So I basically had my makeup on for 24 hours, so I was like really, really, really cleansing my face. And then I bought a new toothbrush because I forgot to bring mine with me because I'm a fucking mess. And I couldn't get it open because I have acrylics and I can't do anything with my fucking acrylics because I'm also a disaster. And so I was like struggling with the fucking like plastic container because it wasn't one of those normal like peel like cardboard toothbrushes. It was like all plastic and I was like struggling with it. So he probably like heard me like getting pissed off at my fucking toothbrush holder. I don't know.
And he texted
thought I was doing like a fucking like ritual in the bathroom or some shit. Like summoning something.
Yeah,
like
he
are you
texted
fucking
Kaylin.
kidding me? Like I'm the one who's like freaking out like the most. Like I'm the one that's like carrying around like protection crystals and like talking about how we need to go get sage and like all this shit. Like I want nothing to do with this fucking energy. And he's like, her, that one, Satan.
Yeah, I think even in like Kaylin's video, like you are freaking out in the background.
I think,
She
yeah,
was
the whole
gonna
time.
cry.
I literally thought I was like gonna cry. Like I saw that and like the feeling that just washed over me. I'm like, I'm gonna start fucking crying.
It was that photo, the thought of the face, just saying and just doing
like
that
and
while we're
like
looking.
not knowing like if they weren't with us, if Kaylin and Martin weren't with us, I feel like something really, really bad like would have happened. Like if we had said yes to like going to get drinks with them, Like somehow we would have been roped into something,
Yeah,
and
'cause it would have
something
gotten us, like, some
really
sort of
bad
drunk.
would have happened.
Like, because that would have gotten us drunk.
Well, I
And
wouldn't
then-
have, not with people I didn't know.
Oh, yeah.
No. I don't know. I just feel like something really bad would have happened. Like,
And then
that's
the
just
next
vibe.
morning, we found out, because we were,
Yeah.
we got their information, well, because
Because we had to send them the pictures.
Yeah, the pictures. And so the next morning we decided for me to text them, just seeing how they were, just to sort of feel out the situation. And I texted them saying, "Hi, good morning. It was so nice to meet y'all, and I hope y'all have a great
Yeah,
rest
thanks
of your
for
stay
showing us
there.
that
And thanks for
room."
showing the tour." And then they responded very nicely, and then they said their real name, like their full name. And so then we did a little bit of research and saw what their occupations
What they
were.
actually do.
Which we're gonna keep it off of here, just because it doesn't
Yeah.
really pertain to anything. But
Like that's their own business.
based on their
like-
career decisions, we know for a fact that they couldn't have been actors at the Queen Mary.
No.
Um,
And maybe they were possibly just trying to like creep us out somehow, but like that still doesn't.
and we also
explain
found out that they
like
had
that
been.
feeling.
I think. Did we find out that they were married? Or
That they
'cause
had
the same last name.
like they had the same last name. And
For, like,
unless that was like
6
a weird
years.
coincidence and they like have just been dating each other with the last name, that they've been married for like years. Like
Yeah.
they didn't just get married. Like that's the weirdest part. Like either like they picked stage names that just happened to have the last name,
Yeah,
or
they're.
they've been married for like at least 5 years.
Which means like, what was
Which
the
means,
purpose?
like,
That book he had. that he
why
said
were
was
they
a
dressed
wedding?
up like that to begin with?
And then we found out also we did some.
Why were they
digging.
carrying the guest book?
We were looking into weddings at the Queen Mary recently, and found out that that Saturday, or the weekend, that there was another couple that got married there.
We think, unless possibly they just posted their wedding photos.
As if
On
that
that
was.
day.
Oh, I see.
Like I don't like. We're not completely sure about that. So
It just was all very odd.
yeah. Yeah. So if it was us just like misinterpreting the situation and they were trying to be nice to us, but they were just like a little high and like kind of freaking us out, like I feel like such an asshole, but like it felt sketchy, it felt unsafe, and at that point we're like we don't even want to risk it. Like we don't even want to risk like I don't like you saw the fucking picture, like we showed that because it's blurred enough for you like not to like realize like who it is.
Well, sort of like what, I don't remember if I said it already, but me and Martin sort of are more skeptical about ghosts and all that stuff. But like, I don't know, it's just a weird.
And
it was,
even
it was,
like even he was like Martin was
yeah,
like,
he was full on like no, that was
he's
weird.
like something's like wrong. And like there's like I don't know, like we all had like some kind of experiences that we like all experienced, like the four of us together, and I feel like those are the ones that are like the strongest, like the doll,
Yeah.
like the ones that we all reacted to, like you can't like fucking deny those. Like I don't know, it was just scary.
Either way, it was interesting.
Definitely made a good fucking story. Like how are we
Entertaining.
ever gonna forget that?
Scared to death, but then.
And if we ever go back to the Queen Mary, maybe we won't fucking talk to strangers unless they're also
the
filming a
moral of the
YouTube
story
video.
is don't talk to strangers.
Unless they're YouTubers.
Unless they're YouTubers.
So yeah, it was really fucking weird. It was scary. And the thing was like the ghosts weren't even the fucking scary part. Like they didn't seem menacing. They didn't seem mean. They didn't seem bad.
It's almost like they were
It
just
was
messing
the
with me.
People there.
Just messing
that
with
were-
me, apparently.
The fucked up part. I don't know. So yeah, that was our fucking experience. This video is so fucking long. Sorry about that, but like
And it's real
literally
late,
so
too.
much happened and like what the fuck. Yeah. Alright, so stay tuned. We got a whole bunch of shit coming up this week. We're gonna be in Vegas at Zach Bagans Haunted Museum, so definitely expect a video from that. And then maybe a couple more from like a couple like less haunted places in LA, but still like haunted. Yeah, stay tuned. And I'll see ya in the near future. Alright, bye guys.